This was a Dennis Berry episode. Dennis, in addition to the sweeping camera shots and sex, also thought that violence should be pushed to the very limits of a television sensibility. So, to help him out, the wonderful opening sequence, we added a little blood optically. It was a special effect in the pool. When the guy gets the stake driven into his chest, we got in a little bit of trouble with that and had to tone down the sound effects. Otherwise, the French and the Germans were not going to run the episode. This is the first time that we kind of played around with a sense of the supernatural. I mean, the idea of vampires and the idea of immortals, they're not that different. And we kind of fooled around in that gray area and enjoyed doing it. This show has a fairly high percentage of flashback to present day footage. And one of the joys of Paris is that, Paris is a flashback for some periods. Ken Gord and Dennis had a huge disagreement about the quickening, the final fight scene and the quickening. Dennis maintained that you cannot have an acceptable quickening during the day. There was absolutely no way you could do it. He was at a loss to what to do. Ken found this abandoned racetrack called the Hippodrome and just told Dennis eventually that, okay, Dennis, I'm the producer and I win. You're going to shoot it during the day. We're not staying up all night to do this. Jeremy Brundle could fight. He was one of the best guys we ever had because most English stage actors are trained in sword fighting. And having that big exterior space and he being athletic as well as Adrian, they really got to tear up the scenery. If we ever have a doubt that Duncan MacLeod is a real hero, a larger-than-life character, the kind of character you can only have in a movie, it's the end of the fight here. The bad guy, smart-mouthing him, Adrian turns it around, says that you are not good enough to take me. And then the bad guy, being kind of a little campy, gets to come back with a little funny line as Adrian whacks his head off. And at the end, in order to make his quickening a little better, which I thought was pretty good, Dennis, somewhere at the racetrack, found 10,000 old tout sheets. And those are the pieces of paper that are flying around the racetrack. This is the beginning of Dennis's paper period. You'll see another quickening where he also used a lot of paper. And the episode's a little campy for us, and but we thought it was fun.